Hey, thanks for joining us on this week's episode of This Must Be the Place. We're going to talk about Falcon Heights today as a neighborhood, University Grove, which is like a neighborhood within a neighborhood, phenomenal place. We're going to talk about how to deal with the sort of emotional response to submitting an offer as a buyer within real estate and how we navigate that as agents. We're going to do a little BoomTimes, and then we're going to
GTFO, as I said.
Skedaddle, yeah, GTFO.
This must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place. Ain't no time to waste. Ain't no time to waste. So whether you in Minneapolis or St. Paul, Bloomington to Maple Grove, from the east side to the west side, down south to way up north, let me hear you say, this must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place. This must be the place.
Hello, and welcome to This Must Be the Place, the only Twin Cities real estate and real estate adjacent podcast where one of the hosts recently installed pocket doors on his car. Which isn't that funny, but it leads me to a thought experiment.
Okay.
Because you are a creative...
The visual of it is pretty funny.
But it leads me to a thought experiment because you're a creative type.
Yeah.
Do you have any simmering like $1 million ideas in your head that are just always there that you don't ever work on but you have thought of and it's just stayed with you?
My idea is gross, in a gross kind of way.
Okay, I can't wait.
And I'm sure 1 million other people have had this idea. But before the Apple Store opened itself up to fart machine apps back in the day,
Yep.
I wanted to develop a fart machine app. And I wanted to develop it from more of like a drum beat, like an MPC perspective.
So you were ahead of the curve on this.
And then, and this is no joke, because this just seriously happened. I was like thinking of ways to do it. I was talking to my wife about it. It was stupid. It was like, well, what if we get a fart machine? It could be like, and you could have like the squeaker and the tooter.
Yeah,
like, right?
You could make smoke on the water out of it.
As soon as Apple opened itself up for apps of that nature, guess what the top 5 apps were the following day on the iTunes store?
Fart sound apps?
Fart sound apps. Fart sound apps.
Yep, just a bunch of 12-year-olds we are.
I mean, who wouldn't pay 99 cents for a fart machine back before you could get fart machines
in
on your phone
2008 or whatever?
Yeah. So that's the one that I remember because I was like, oh wow, like I wasn't the only one who was dumb enough to be pondering
certainly
this.
not. And somebody made their money off of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So my two are not pocket doors in cars, but one I believe I shared with you about 15 years ago, 20 years ago. It's an app where you talk into it and Christopher Walken's voice comes out.
Oh, walk and talking.
You call it walk and talking.
I wanted to develop this with you.
You just say
good.
wow, and then it comes out wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was one. And then my other one is a new $1 million invention. Vertical cemeteries.
I feel like they have them.
No.
Yeah, in Japan. Absolutely.
Oh, they do?
Yeah.
Well, let's bring it
Isn't that
here.
what mausoleums are? The bodies stacked, man.
No. I mean in the ground. You bury them standing
like
up.
Like a Carvana machine for dead bodies?
Yeah. Think about it's inefficient to have a body laying down.
Maybe you've solved the commercial real estate crisis in downtown St. Paul.
I'm telling you, vertical cemeteries, the horizontal cemeteries,
too much
inefficient.
Space.
Too much space.
Everything else is going vertical. They want more density in cities. Let's get more density with our dead.
You're dead. It don't matter.
That's a good slogan.
Density
Get
with
more density with your dead.
All right. Well, let's move on. You want to lead off Neighborhood Watch?
And now, This Must Be the Place presents Neighborhood Watch.
And now,
I thought you were going to talk about
Watch.
A jump to conclusion board.
Those are for all our office space heads out there.
Yeah. We're hopping into Neighborhood Watch, or you wanna real estate it? We're going to Neighborhood Watch.
Let's do Neighborhood Watch.
You're psyched to talk about.
Yeah, I'm really excited to talk about this.
The heights of every time I say Falcon Heights.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pause like that. There's going to be a dramatic Falcon sound every time.
That's
I
like
say
every
it.
time I go to Apple Valley for like a showing or something,
Yeah.
I'm always like, the Valley of Apples. It makes no sense. But
call
that's
it-
where my brain goes.
I call it Action Valley. Anyways, man, we're not doing a good job of staying on topic here.
Neighborhood watch.
Neighborhood
Falcon
watch.
Heights.
Falcon.
How the hell did we get to where we got?
Falcon Heights.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
That's right. That's
All
right.
right.
Falcon
Falcon Heights.
Sound.
Falcon Heights is a great little neighborhood situated just north of St. Paul, between St. Paul and Roseville. It really, when you're in Falcon Heights, it can have a suburban feel if you're on the Como side of it. Lots of 1.5-story Cape Cod houses. If you're on the St. Anthony side of Falcon Heights, it can feel like more city, like St. Anthony,
St.
where
Anthony
you have
Park,
an extension of St. Anthony Park, where you have like some Tudors and Colonials and much older houses and walkable to coffee shops and whatever else is on Como Avenue there. And then if you're on the Roseville side, it can feel super suburban like Roseville with Ramblers and
1960s built, whatever.
Yep. And if you're not familiar with the area, rather than give you northwest, east, south kind of directions, if you're at the Minnesota State Fair and you're on the north end of the fair, that pretty much is Falcon Heights, right?
Yeah.
University of Minnesota St. Paul campus is Falcon Heights, even though it's St. Paul campus.
Yes.
Minnesota State Fair. Lots of it is even in the Midway area. I believe is Falcon Heights.
I think it is. Yeah.
So it's a really cool neighborhood. It's still an affordable neighborhood. Median
For
house
sure.
prices are around $360,000, which is you can still get a good deal there.
Yeah, probably 1,600 square feet-ish,
I was gonna say, on the
3
Como
bed, 2
side.
bath.
Yep. On the Como side, you're looking at the sub 2,000 square foot side.
Yeah.
On the St. Anthony Park side,
Bigger.
around the U of M.
Yeah.
You're getting a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
So it depends where you are. There's a good breadth of options within that neighborhood. Not surprisingly, the population there is about 5,500 people live in Falcon Heights.
Sure.
41
Geographically pretty small.
Yeah. But super highly educated.
Yeah.
Because of the U of M.
Yep.
41% of full-time residents there have their master's degree or higher, which was really surprising.
Interesting.
And surprising and not surprising, right? You have a lot of probably people going for their masters at the U of M Ag school there. You
Yep.
have a lot of professors that
Veterinary
live.
school is on the St. Paul campus.
Yeah. So it's a cool little slice that you would pass through and never know you went through a suburb.
For sure. You would
Kinda-
never know it. I mean, you could be at
It's just so small.
shout out the old Muffaletta.
Yes.
You could be at Muffaletta, walk a couple blocks north or whatever, and you're in Falcon Heights.
Yeah. Price per square foot in that area is about $213 a square foot.
So a little
slightly higher.
but not much.
Yeah, but I mean, for such a, I know we joke about this 10 minutes from everywhere thing quite a bit.
Yeah.
But it's a very central location because you can access downtown Minneapolis, you can access St. Paul, the Midway, Roseville. You're kind of right there on the north side of all of that to be able to take advantage of what the cities have to offer and still have your super Targets in Rosedale Mall.
Right.
And,
280s right there. Get
Yeah.
you anywhere you want.
Yep, 36.
Yeah.
So very cool little neighborhood. And I think probably the coolest part of the neighborhood is something that you explored this week. It's a section called University Grove, which I knew about, but I always thought it was in St. Paul. I truly did not realize that was Falcon Heights until we talked about this week. So what say you on University Grove? Why is it special? And before we get into this, dude,
Yeah.
before the pod every day, do you roll your pants up, or is this a full day outside winter?
Full day outside winter.
Just ankles all day long?
Well, when I stand up, they go down to my shoes.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Okay, because I only notice it when you're sitting down, so I feel like you roll your pants up before you sit down.
Oh, no. This is all day, bro.
No, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
know you were bringing it back or starting a new trend.
I'm starting
or
a new
something.
trend, and I actually got a text from my friend Heather with a photo of celebrities doing this, and she's saying it's catching on.
Do you know why I can't do it?
No.
I prefer a longer sock. You know.
Yeah, see.
I think that's a weird look.
It's a weird look with longer socks.
I'm gonna do it.
But
though.
I think you should do it.
I'm gonna go Andy this week.
Yep. And who knows? 3 months from now, I might have abandoned this and with a red face and hang my head in shame. But
This
for now,
feels
I'm rocking it.
Stupid.
It looks stupid.
Okay.
On me, looks great.
Okay.
It does not. Okay, so University Grove. So full disclosure, I became a realtor about 5.5 years ago. I think I got my license in like June of 2019. That's about 5.5 years. And I had never heard of University Grove. I had some.
Well, you're a Minneapolis guy.
I'm a Minneapolis guy. Truth. I had some clients, some buyer clients that were looking at homes, and they found this home for sale. Looked right out of like some kind of mid-century modern, not even mid-century modern, just super modern architectural book or something.
Sure.
And Casey will surely put photos up of some of these homes.
Absolutely. Because they're very cool.
And so we went and looked at one of these houses. They didn't end up putting an offer in on it, and then I saw this one house, and then I was like, "What is this neighborhood about?" So this was shortly after I got my license. So that was my first intro to University Grove. But essentially, what it is in the late 1920s, at that time, president of the University of Minnesota was trying to differentiate the University of Minnesota from other prominent schools, Big Ten schools, to try to attract faculty, admin, whatever. And one way of doing that was designating this at the time was one I believe 1 block by 4 block area that eventually reached 8 blocks. Wide, but still very small. It's only 103 homes. And he said, let's do something unique. So we're going to have rules set in standard, essentially like HOA rules, where the University of Minnesota is going to own this land right next to the St. Paul campus of the U, just right south of the Bell Museum, southwest of the Bell Museum, like a block. And we're going to say, we're going to keep it nature focused. We're going to commission outside of like Frank Lloyd Wright, the most famous local and national architects of the time, and commission them to build houses. And it started west to east. So on the west side was when it first got started, late 20s, early 30s. So you had a lot of like big brick colonials, kind of more traditional for the time. And I drove through it yesterday, parked my car, walked all around the neighborhood yesterday.
Those don't pop out as much. So
they don't
that's
pop out as
interesting to see because those look like, I mean, well, at the time, probably grand, amazing houses for faculty.
Yes.
I thought it was just those mid-mods.
No.
But it started before that.
It started before that. And you're right. They kind of look like a lot of other, big Tudors and colonials that you would find in the area or other parts of the city. With a little architectural flourish, but they didn't have the Bauhaus or modern style wasn't a thing yet in the 30s. And then as time went on, in the 50s, that's when shit got crazy. Like the homes that these modern forward-thinking architects built are like
the red, yellow, blue one is nuts.
Yeah, man. And they all had caps on how much the architects could spend.
Oh, okay.
So when they started, you couldn't spend more than $10,000 on the house.
Wow.
As it progressed into the 50s, I think it was like $63,000.
Imagine that.
Imagine,
if you will, for a moment,
building a $10,000.
Building a large colonial or Tudor with some architectural flourish.
Imagine building
$10,000.
a one-car garage for $10,000.
Imagine building the pad for a one-car garage for $10,000.
Yeah, exactly. But it was the cost caps is what they called them. I read something about it. Somebody wrote that the cost caps were in place to prohibit flagrant architectural showboating.
Okay.
Which
okay.
I love.
Yeah.
So basically, they weren't, they weren't going to out.
We get it. You can build, buddy.
Yeah,
you
we
can
get
build.
it. Yeah, well, they're not going to Milton Berle themselves.
Nice atrium.
We're not gonna tell that Milton Berle story. I'll tell you off air. But
I
cannot tell it on air. But
Okay.
on air on the podcast. But so yeah, no flagrant
we can
architectural
always
showboating.
bleep it out.
Still no. Still no.
Okay.
But essentially, so to this day, the U of M owns all the land, and then the homeowners own the property.
Yeah.
So that is for, quote, the university can control the evolution of the property without bearing the risk of development, unquote.
It's surprising how many little neighborhoods in the cities function like that. Like we were talking about Nicollet Island.
Yes.
Sort of the same thing.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
You would never
think that. Yeah. For sure. But that's the case with this. It's still 103 homes, and some of the architects that built these homes, the most notable ones, although there's probably a dozen.
Ralph
Rapson. Yeah. He's the most notable.
Never heard of him
Oh,
before.
okay.
Had you heard of him before researching this?
No, definitely not.
You pretty much only hear of Frank Lloyd Wright.
Frank Lloyd Wright is kind of what if you're like
he's
an
the
amateur.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah, Ralph Rapson's more like the Ralph Sampson.
Okay. He was drafted, but he was quickly forgotten.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's 7'4".
Okay.
So yeah, Ralph Rapson, he built some. I did a deep dive on him too. He built a lot of designed a lot of buildings around the world. So very famous. And then Elizabeth and Winston Close were a married couple. Elizabeth died recently. She lived to be like 105 or something.
Mike McGuire.
You call him Mike. Edwin Lundy. So to talk about these homes that were built predominantly in the 50s and 60s in University Grove does not do anything justice. Like you should really do yourself a favor and just drive around, park your car, walk around. I spent 20 minutes there yesterday, and you can get all around it.
Every time you say walk around, it reminds me of just all the D-bag comments that you received on TikTok, which maybe you were unaware of.
Oh, I didn't.
Because you were like, just drive through Milwaukee Avenue. Just drive through it. Take a look.
Oh,
Do you know how many
hate it?
people were like, you can't drive through that, a-hole. Can't drive. He's never been to the area. I'm just like, guys, it's a figure of speech.
It's a figure of speech, guys.
Go look around.
Just give it a look-see.
Just
walk all the way there.
Just hang out for a minute.
So over the years, University Grove has been home to famous residents. Oh, before I talk about the famous residents, so on the books, when a home comes up for sale in University Grove, which rarely happens, it is offered to University of Minnesota staff, faculty, whatever, first.
Okay.
For the first, I believe, 90 days, it's on the market. If after 90 days it does not sell to U of M faculty, then it goes on the market as a traditional home sale. And that's how my clients found it. So most of the residents in University Grove are affiliated with University of Minnesota in some capacity, but many are not, which is super cool too. And it's just
seems like it'd be really tough to get a place there.
Yeah,
a good place.
I think I shared with you.
You get Ralph Rapson's place, not Mike McGuire.
Yeah, that's right.
know?
I sent you. I think I emailed you like an MLS something, but I looked back 3 years.
Yeah.
And there's only been 3 transactions I think done, something like that.
And you're buying the structure, not the property,
and not the land, right? Yeah. But like, who lived there? Who has lived there?
Who has lived there?
B.F. Skinner.
Who is that? The teacher from The Simpsons?
That's who Principal Skinner was based off of.
Get out of here,
seriously,
dude.
100%.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
B.F. Skinner, famous psychologist and father of behavioral psychology in America. Did you know Edna Krabappel, the teacher, is based off of Crabapple?
I mean, I know it was Miss Crabapple, but
Yeah, Krabappel.
yeah.
Superintendent Chalmers. Not Mario Chalmers.
No, not Mario
No.
Chalmers. No.
Winston and Elizabeth Close, they designed their house and lived there.
Are they Glenn?
They
Is that
designed.
Glenn Close's parents?
That's right. Yeah, Glenn
Are they?
Close's parents.
Okay.
I have no idea. They designed 14 homes in the Grove. So I believe they were the most prolific of the architects.
Oh, okay. So they built and lived there.
They built and lived there, and then additionally designed 13 other homes.
Sure.
Margaret Davis, the first female Regents professor at the University of Minnesota, lived there.
Lots of famous academia.
Yes. Anthropology, famous professor, art sciences. Bernie Bierman.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You know Bierman, right?
No.
Oh, it's a famous building on the University of Minnesota campus.
No idea.
I think is that where the football team plays? No, that's
The
TCF.
Bernie Bierman Stadium? Yes.
He was a University of Minnesota collegiate football coach. So, yeah, University Grove, like most people don't know about it.
No.
At the very least, you're not doing anything right now. If you're driving, just hop on your phone while you're driving.
Yep.
We always encourage
While you're
that.
driving.
While you're driving,
Yep.
preferably on the highway.
Yep.
Google some images of that.
No, don't Google anything, man. Go to Snelling. Go up Snelling.
Yeah.
When
Go
you
west
hit
on
Larpenteur,
Larpenteur.
make a left.
Yep.
You go west on Larpenteur. When you see the big, beautiful Bell Museum,
Make
off to
another
your left-hand
left.
side, make another left. You said it was
Make your first right.
environmental. You'll
Yeah.
notice the whole area looks like a hill with huge, mature trees, unlike
Yes.
the farmlands that surround it. And drive around. Check it out. Super cool neighborhood. That's what I have to say. There's your Google map.
Do you want to talk about the Bell Museum a little bit?
I do.
And,
and
Gibbs
that's a
Farm
good
before
segue.
we get out of here?
That's a good segue. Bell Museum. Bell Museum is in Falcon Heights, lo and behold.
Lo and behold.
And it was Minnesota's first museum of natural history. 144 years old. Although the structure itself, the building where the current Bell Museum sits.
Can I guess what year it was built?
Yeah.
2018?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes, and it's cool. It's a cool looking structure. It's got a planetarium inside. It
does,
and a really cool like modern digital planetarium. It's got this touch and see or touch explore lab where you can touch all sorts of natural history, rocks, geos, whatever. But you can also touch and hold a tarantula if you are so inclined to do that.
I've never done that.
But you can do that. It's a really nice way to spend an afternoon for a young family. Minnesota winters get cold and long, and it's a great place to check out
Very poetic.
in the winter. Has lots of old fossils, and again, it's located right on I don't know the road that it's on. It's Larpenteur.
I was just on it yesterday.
But it's you make a left on Snelling. Or if you're coming up 280 and you're going the other way on Larpenteur,
Make it right on Como.
you make a right. You'll see it. You can't miss it.
No,
Don't-
you cannot.
don't-
You definitely can't miss it.
I always thought it was like the phone company when people used to talk about the Bell Museum.
Yeah.
I was like, this is
you were like, that's Bob Bell.
yeah, it's a phone museum.
Got the ill communication.
Yeah. And right across the street from the Bell Museum
Yep.
is Gibbs Farm.
Directly across.
famously owned by Barry Gibbs of the Bee Gees.
That's right.
That's not the one?
No.
Are you
That's
sure?
Barry Gibb, singular, not Gibbs.
Oh.
But maybe there was an apostrophe.
All right.
that-
Well, I guess it might be the
we
other.
gotta shut down the podcast.
So it was not owned by the family of Barry Gibb.
not
Gibbs?
Andy Gibb, not Robin Gibb.
They were all Gibbs, weren't they?
Yeah, they were all the
Okay.
They were all the Bee Gees.
These Gibbs were early 1800 settlers, as my grandfather would say, pioneers, if you will. And the Gibbs Farm is a really well-maintained example of an old farmstead in Minnesota turned museum where you have your old farmhouse, you have your one-room schoolhouse, you have of course, a gift shop. And you also have, so what makes it interesting is that not only does it give you a look at what life of pioneers was like in the early 1800s, but it does a really good job of showing and helping us understand the relationship between pioneers and the Dakota people, the native indigenous people to the land that ultimately settlers came and robbed the land from. No better way to put it.
No.
But so you have a Dakota teepee, you have wild rice sort of encampment there. And then the history of it, like the guided tours, kind of guides you through that and talks about the settlers' lives and Dakota life and how they kind of came together and coexisted for that moment, and how their relationships were intertwined.
I love it.
And so really two cool pieces of exploring our natural history and our cultural history.
Right there in Falcon Heights.
Right there in Falcon Heights. A stone's
And a
throw
third
from-
thing I just remembered is
Dino's
shout out to our
Euros.
first guest ever that we had,
Oh.
Nikki Warner.
Oh, yeah?
She is, I don't remember her exact title, but she is marketing director at
Chief Communications Officer?
right, CEO at The Good Acre, which is a nonprofit, a block down.
Oh,
she talked about
yeah.
it. Farm share.
Yeah.
But it really, just kind of the triangle of those things we just talked about, I think blends really well with the U of M St. Paul campus, which
Yeah.
is very agricultural focused.
Yeah, the ag school right there.
The ag school right there. And then University Grove. Overall, Falcon Heights, thumbs up for me, bro.
Does it get the
JP
stamp of approval?
It definitely gets the JP stamp of approval.
All right. Thanks, Jay. P. Oh, man. Someday we'll, 5 years from now, we'll go into the lore of some of this stuff and how it came about.
I don't know if I want to be there for that day.
Maybe you'll tell the Milton Berle story at that point.
Oh God, you have to remind me to tell that after the pod.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so we are going to do a real estate topic.
Yeah. Oh my God, we didn't do that yet?
No, I know. We're going to hit this quick.
Holy crap.
And then we're going to hit BoomTimes. And then
Okay.
we're
I
gonna
thought we were done.
brevity this
We're out of here.
What are we going to talk about today?
I want to talk about the emotional response and the emotion that happens for buyers and agents when submitting a offer in buying a house. So I want to start this because I just had a offer accepted on a house this weekend for my amazing clients, Ryan and Cindy, coming up here from Florida. Congrats to them.
Props to you.
but-
Congrats to them.
Yeah, but
And the seller and everybody.
every time you put an offer in, there are new challenges, right? And rarely is it like, put an offer in, 10 minutes later, they come back and be like, yeah, that's amazing, let's go, sign it. Like, it's never just like squeaky clean, right?
Yeah.
And that got me thinking about other clients and purchase offers from them. It got me thinking about my own experience buying houses. And my experience now as an agent trying to navigate that, but still feeling some of those emotions for your clients. Because I think you'd agree, as much as you can try to distance yourself from that, and as many times as you do it, your clients become your friends, become people that you want to advocate for,
do.
right? And when they are upset or nervous or anything else, right, it's hard not to empathize that or feel a little bit of that.
Yeah, you try to be many things. You try to be a therapist. You try to be. I am not one for credos or life sayings.
Mottos, creeds and mottos
Yes,
together are credos.
I don't live by anything.
Yeah.
Although I once heard, and I think about this all the time.
Yeah,
Be the thermostat, not the thermometer.
that's good.
I've always.
You have lots of little quips.
I'm quippy,
Yeah.
no doubt. But yeah, as a realtor, you try to be the thermostat, not the thermometer,
Yeah.
because because it can be a thermometer-ish time when you're submitting an offer, especially if there's
A thermostat, not the thermometer.
yeah, you want to set the temperature. You don't want to
Take the temperature.
You don't want to take the temperature.
Okay.
You don't want to. You want to set it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it can be a very emotional. It can be a very, like you said, like if you're submitting an offer on a property and you're not going to get a response in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it can be agonizing for buyers,
Yes.
waiting and
Yeah.
waiting and waiting.
Yeah.
Sometimes hours, sometimes 24 hours, sometimes even more.
Yep.
And that's not ideal, but sometimes that's how it goes.
Yep.
How it goes.
So that's kind of the scenario I wanted to put forward, because if you haven't been through it, or if you have been through it, know that as realtors, we understand that and we empathize with that. And that's why, I think that's why we're good at what we do. So you can imagine, right? Imagine a seller, right? The seller has to get out of town. They have to relocate. They have to leave town because their father is sick in a different state, and they have to go move there to help. Like some unforeseen family circumstance, right? They have 2 kids. They just had a newborn. They got a 3-year-old. An offer comes in, and their spouse is out of town on a business trip or away, and they have to put the baby to bed. They have to feed the kids. They have to make sure everything is in order. They have to finish their work. They have to deal with their family stress and situation out of town. And now they have to respond to this offer, right?
Yeah, they're juggling a lot of balls, and then you throw another ball in the air, which is the offer. So they got a lot going on.
From the buyer side, right? Now you're a buyer. You're a buyer that's submitting the offer to this family, right? This is like a mental exercise here for a second. You're the buyer that's submitting this offer. You have been looking for a year and a half. We've shown you 52 properties. You've put offers on 3 of them, and you've lost all of them. Mm-hmm. And you are mentally and emotionally exhausted with the process and don't know if you ever want to do this again, but you love this house, and this is the one. And this house has made all of that other disappointment for the past year worth it if you can get this house. So you submit your offer. Like, imagine those 2 worlds colliding and the emotional response on each side of that equation, right?
Yeah.
And as realtors, we have to judge that, and we have to say, look, why haven't they responded yet? Or they said they'll respond later tonight, but they haven't gotten back to us yet. Or you came in 10 grand below where they wanted to be, and a multiple offer happened, and now they have another offer and they have to entertain that, and you feel like they've dragged their feet in responding to your offer just so they could get that other offer in, right? When in reality, maybe they were taking a moment after feeding their newborn, feeding their 3-year-old, putting them to bed, calling their mom to make sure their dad who's out of town getting put in the home. Like, there's so many scenarios. Maybe they just needed a moment to breathe before they could rationally sit down and look at your offer. And so navigating that is tough, and our responsibility is to our client to help them understand that these things happen while sort of paying honor to the emotions that they're feeling, because they're legitimate emotions, right?
Yep.
And so that's just something I wanted to discuss, not because there's a good answer for how to deal with it, right? But it's just something that happens in transactions, especially when you're talking about the biggest purchase of your life and a place that you are going to want to build memories and call home and build a family or a community or something with, right? And just know that good agents deal with that on both sides, and that we understand, and that sometimes calm demeanor or trying to talk you through the other side of it is not to not honor your feelings and emotions about it,
right.
But it's to sort of bring some perspective to the situation. Because if you do get that house,
for sure,
right,
for sure,
you're going to be you're gonna remember that as a God, I was really pissed off at that time, but man, I love this house, man. I'm glad I was through it. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that a little bit, because having just worked on that side of an offer and then thinking about other transactions and my own transactions,
the emotions
we've all
of
been through it.
Yeah, yep, we have, and we talked earlier about the language.
Yes.
On the contracts everybody signs, I believe, says
Yes.
time is of the essence.
Yes.
they specifically, the lawyers that wrote that up, there's intentionality there.
Yeah.
Because you can't be specific. You can't say you will respond to this offer within 3 hours. You can't. You just can't do it.
I mean, you can.
Well, you can, but
You can write that in there, and then you're not getting
You're going to be
anything.
in breach of contract so many times. So time is of the essence. Yes, that's kind of what you preach to your clients, whether you're representing the seller or the buyer. But like Casey said, there's other stuff that goes on, and you want to have a clear head and a rational head.
Yeah.
If you're a seller, when you're reviewing offers, just like a buyer does, if the seller counter offers the buyer's offer, then the buyer needs some time to digest the counter offer and decide what the best path forward is. So be the thermostat, not the thermometer.
Be the thermostat. That's good. I like that.
It's pretty good,
That's
right?
a T-shirt.
Yeah.
That's good.
My only other credo is...
It's not a credo. It's a motto or a creed.
No, credo
Cheeto.
is the Groucho Marx.
Don.
I wouldn't want to be a part of any club that would have me.
Credo, dude. I'm looking this
Look
up.
it up.
You don't live by a credo.
Yes, you do.
You live by a creed.
Credo. Did you look up credo? What's the definition of credo? C-R-E-D-O.
C-R-E-D-O.
Not the band Creed.
So credo?
No, credo. What is the definition?
God damn it, you're right, Andy.
Yes.
I really...
What is the definition, though?
It is a statement of beliefs or aims which guide someone's actions.
Yeah.
He announced
That's the
his
perfect definition
credo
of what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's good. I thought motto and creed. What's
You were
creed?
combining them.
What's a creed?
That's what the no race, color, creed, religion. Apollo
What
Creed
is
is a
creed
character. Creed
by which?
is the Scott Stapp band that sang, "Can you take me higher?"
Yeah, right, we're done. Okay. Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Religion, race, creed, whatever.
Yeah, no, I get you. I'm confusing the two.
Okay. Well, thanks for sticking around with us for that definition lookup.
No, that's going. That's,
Okay. We'll get that out.
It just depends on how long we're running here.
Yeah. Anything else you want to talk about regarding the real estate topic?
No,
I mean, it's
that was a quick and easy one, which is why I wanted to do it. But it does connect. I feel like, hopefully it connects.
Hopefully.
And if not, skip it. I put
timestamp markers.
Yeah, we're good.
All right. Well, I think we want to talk a little bit about BoomTimes.
Do we want a boom time?
We want a BoomTime. If you're new here,
Oh God.
Welcome to Boom Times, a segment called Boom Times, Boom Times.
BoomTimes, all capital letters, BMTMS.
Books.
No vowels. Books,
Often only
music, BMT,
television, intimate movies,
S,
essentially sports.
sports. But again, BoomTimes is a catch-all
Books,
word.
often only music.
Oh,
TV,
you're doing the vowels. I
Intimate
see.
movies,
Intimate movies.
essentially sports.
Essentially sports. I did not pick up what you were putting down there.
BoomTimes. I'm going to come up with a good thing so it's not just the BMTMS.
Heard that.
Okay? TLDR.
TLDR. My first BoomTimes, I only have 2 today. I have 3, but I'm cutting one out. My first one is the American Primeval. You talked about it last week on BoomTimes.
Wouldn't that be my BoomTimes?
What word did you just say?
Wouldn't that be my BoomTimes?
Yeah, but that was your BoomTimes last week. I want to say that I listened and I heard and I felt your BoomTimes.
Did you watch it?
I started it last night and I watched 2 episodes last night.
Thoughts?
And it's insanely violent.
Insanely violent.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But it's
Shout out Peter Berg.
Yeah, it's captivating and it's a little slice of American history that I didn't know about, and I don't know how much of it is true, but at the very least, it's a goddamn entertaining TV show and with lots of violence.
Yeah, Timmy Riggins kills it. He'll get more as you go. Taylor Kitsch.
Is he the guy that gets, can I say the word scalped?
No. That's the Mormon. He's the guy
the Mormon.
that they are paying to take.
Reed. His last name's Reed. Mr. Reed is what she calls him.
Yes, Mr. Reed.
Mr. Reed.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, that I got 2 episodes in last night.
Cool
and,
show.
It's great. What do you got?
Are you watching it by yourself? Or are you watching it with wifey?
By myself. My wife goes to bed early.
Do you watch? Are you in the same room?
No. She's upstairs, already in bed reading a book.
Gotcha.
At 8 o'clock. Every night.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm not joking.
All right. I have a TV show called Shrinking.
Heard of it.
And I have a love-hate relationship with Shrinking because for a brief moment on the interwebs, everybody was like, Shrinking is so good,
remember it.
man. Like,
I have not seen it.
this season 2 is what people were talking about. It's so good. It's better than Ted Lasso. It's like the new Ted Lasso. It's saved my soul. And I'm watching this thing in season 1, and I'm like, this is like Saving Sarah Marshall, but like not as funny. And it's like I'm watching the same episode every week.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Yeah, thank you.
Saving
Sarah
Silverman.
Silverman.
Saving
And
Silverman.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Yes.
See what I'm doing here?
I do.
It's a lot of train of thought.
Oh, you're an old
happening.
man.
So, maybe our podcast would be more entertaining if I take some Alpha Brain and we get all Joe Rogan on this.
Oh, boy.
So, but it's just like the first season is like the same episode week after week, dick joke after dick joke, crazy Botox face neighbor after Botox face neighbor. It's just like formulaic and like not, but the characters, the dialogue, like it's just not believable, right? And people were like, give it till season 2, give it till, dude from Ted Lasso, Roy Kent comes on the show.
Oh,
He's a character
sure.
called, I forget what his name is in season 2. Harrison Ford's in it. Jason Segel's in it. It's a good show, right? It does take a turn halfway through season 2 and stops being the same show and gets a little more real and gets a little more, it connects better. And I do appreciate that, and I'm really interested to see where it continues to go from
So you're
that.
now enjoying it.
I am enjoying it much more now than because it was hard to get through for me. It
Good
was
for
like,
you for
I
sticking
want to
with
watch
it.
this same show again. Like I'm bored with it. There was nothing new about it, and it wasn't connecting. But I will say,
I would have quit. So good for you.
If you can get through season 1, if you're just happy to hear some dick jokes and have Jason Segel, type show, you'll be good. But then it picks up in season 2. But it is no Ted Lasso. It is definitely not deserving of any Emmy or writing awards. And all the people on Threads who say that, like one dude attacked me. It was just like, it's clearly over your head, bub.
Oh,
and I was
boy.
like, bro, like
I have a hot take on Ted Lasso.
Smoking crack.
I don't even like Ted Lasso.
oh, dude, it was,
I thought it was the second season. I quit. I thought it was terrible.
no?
Yeah.
You don't like the wholesome kitschiness of it?
No. The
No?
first season was good. I enjoyed the first season. But
To
I don't even remember. I just remember being like, this is now awful and I don't ever want to watch it again.
interesting.
It's just me.
I thought they did it pretty well throughout.
Did they have 3 seasons?
Whatever they had, I watched them all and I liked it.
Okay, I see.
Yeah.
Shrinking, is that what it's called?
Shrinking.
Okay. I have one more BoomTimes before
Yeah.
we get out of here, unless you have another one.
No,
It's an app.
I don't consume as much culture as
It's a website and it's an app.
you. Is it a fart app?
And it's called The Lot Radio. The
You already
Lot.
did this.
No, I did not.
All right. We
I've
talked
done-
about some app for
I
radio.
have. I've
where
talked
you
about.
listen to Crystal Palace matches.
I have talked about a lot of music-related things, but this
Okay.
one I just stumbled across, and
Okay.
I am late to the game because this was winning awards in 2016.
Okay.
But The Lot, I am pulling up the description of it because it's super.
So you are very unprepared. You had a
Shut
whole
up.
segment of Shrinking to look this up.
I know. So it's a reclaimed shipping container, like those big things like you saw in season 2 of The Wire.
Like they build homes out of.
some homes. No.
Shipping container.
Yeah, like they put on the backs of barges
Yeah,
and
they
stuff.
build homes out of them now.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, in an empty lot in Brooklyn in New York City,
Yeah.
and
Is it a tiny home?
no, it's not a home at all. It's a
Okay.
music studio,
Oh, my bad.
and 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
It is. They've got.
They live stream it?
They live stream it 24/7. The DJs are great. The music is great. It's
So
anywhere
it's a
from-
radio station.
yeah.
Okay, it's not a music studio. People don't come and make music there. They don't cut records. They play music for others to enjoy.
Yes.
Okay.
thelotradio.com.
Okay,
Anyway,
sweet.
But it's all like, it's anything from electronic to disco to funk to R&B. And it's just DJs
I'm gonna live stream
doing their
this
thing.
chick doing her thing while you're talking about this.
Yeah.
Now I'll put a little split screen in.
So this is like, electronic right now, but it is amazing. And
I preferred listening to it with just
watching her.
watching her bop her head
Yeah.
and move faders.
and the fact that it's
Ooh,
in
she's giving it the stink face
Oh, yeah,
right
she's
there.
giving it
she's into it.
the Haim.
That's no higher praise that a musician can give music than this face right here.
The stink face. Oh, yeah. Yeah, something's going down.
Yeah.
Oh,
She's
Pointing fingers?
Pon the river.
Anyway.
I gotta find this clip. We gotta get this clip.
it's great making dinner music.
Okay.
thelotradio.com. And it streams 24/7, and it's amazing. So
yeah,
check
that's
it out.
cool.
And
The
if it's
Lot.
your thing, great. And if it's not,
Yeah.
don't worry about
That's
it.
cool, man. I do have one more thing.
Okay, go.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Go, birds. See you next week.
This must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place. Ain't no time to waste. Ain't no time to waste. So whether you in Minneapolis or St. Paul, Bloomington to Maple Grove, from the east side to the west side, down south to way up north, let me hear you say, this must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place. This must be the place. Ain't no time to waste. Said ain't no time to waste. Talk to them now. This must be the place. Yeah, this must be the place. Said come on down, 'cause this must be the place.
So the Milton Berle story, before I get out of here. So Milton Berle had a legendarily long, huge penis. Huge.
Okay, all right.
And somebody once, people knew about it. So some man went up to him once and was like, I heard you got a big, big and he's like, I got a big too. Mine's bigger than yours.
Just at a random public event.
Something like that, yeah. And the story goes, Milton Berle said, I'll pull out just enough to win.